Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes. Carl Jung. You wake up and move through your day, doing what's expected. Smile, nod, work, perform. But in the quiet moments, something aches. A question returns. Who am I, really? Not the name, the job, the mask, but the real self beneath it all. Freedom always feels just out of reach, like chasing the horizon, and despite all achievements, a sense of emptiness lingers. Jung believed this is the cost of living disconnected from your true self. From an early age, you learn to hide your feelings, to be polite, to fit in, adapting to survive, and slowly, the real you is buried beneath layers of expectations. Eventually, the mask becomes all that's left, and you forget who you are. But deep down, you feel it. A restlessness, a longing. You try to fill it with work, love, praise, but nothing lasts because what you truly seek isn't out there. It's within. This inner journey requires facing repressed, forgotten parts of yourself. Jung called it individuation, the process of becoming whole, not perfect, by embracing all aspects of yourself, even the ones you fear. Since childhood, you've been conditioned to suppress your doubts and weaknesses, becoming an expert at pretending, and the cost is a deep sense of dissatisfaction and repeated patterns. Jung described this as the shadow, the blind spot of the psyche, holding not just your fears and anger, but also your hidden gifts and joy. Ignored, the shadow sabotages you. Embraced, it heals you. Most people cling to the persona while the shadow works in secret, but integrating it brings true freedom. You stop pretending, stop pleasing, and begin living authentically. Life starts making sense. Patterns and triggers become clear as you realize your inner self has been guiding you all along. But this journey isn't one of isolation. The unconscious mind, archetypes, and societal conditioning all play a role. We live mostly on autopilot, but real transformation begins when you look inward and listen to your inner voice. This is awakening, the beginning of individuation, when you stop betraying yourself, stop justifying pain, and start affirming your worth. Choose peace over fear, not the comfort of fitting in, but the authenticity of being real. It takes courage and honesty, but it's worth it. You are not your mask, your wounds, or your shadow. You are the one who can hold all of it and become whole. So today, make a commitment. I choose my peace over fear. Let it guide you. If this speaks to you, keep walking the path. You are not alone. Awakening is possible. Freedom is possible. Your true self is waiting, and you are ready. You might wonder, what happens after you make that commitment? The world around you may not change overnight, but something inside you will shift. You'll notice moments when you want to slip back into old roles. You'll catch yourself reaching for the mask. But now, you're aware. Awareness is the first key to freedom. You start to notice your triggers. You become curious instead of ashamed. Why did that comment hurt me so much? Why do I shrink in certain rooms? Why do I get angry when I'm not heard? These questions aren't signs of weakness. They are invitations to look deeper. Each trigger points to a hidden part of you, a part that wants to be seen, not suppressed. Jung taught that what you resist persists, but what you face transforms. So when you feel discomfort, pause. Instead of running from it, lean in. Ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to teach me? Maybe it's your inner child, longing for acceptance. Maybe it's your shadow, craving acknowledgement. You don't have to have all the answers right away. You just need to be willing to listen. This is the work of self-integration. It's not about fixing yourself. It's about accepting every part of you, even the messy, complicated parts, especially those. You might feel resistance. You might want to turn away. That's normal. We've been taught to avoid discomfort. But real growth happens outside your comfort zone. When you stop running, you start healing. You may notice old beliefs rising up. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve happiness. These are just stories, you remind yourself. Stories you learned, not truths you have to live by. You can choose new beliefs. You can choose to trust yourself. You can choose to honor your needs. This is how you reclaim your power. One choice at a time. Some days will feel easy. Some days will feel impossible. But every day, you are growing. Every day, you are coming home to yourself. You'll start to see patterns in your life. Patterns in relationships, work, even your thoughts. Instead of blaming others, you take responsibility. You ask, what is this pattern showing me? What do I need to learn? What am I ready to release? This is self-mastery. It's not about control. It's about understanding. You become the observer of your own mind. You notice when you're acting from fear. You notice when you're acting from love. You start to choose love more often. You start to choose peace more often. You stop needing others to validate you. You stop chasing approval. You start living for yourself. You start honoring your truth. You realize that freedom isn't something you find. It's something you create. It's a daily practice, a daily choice. You forgive yourself for past mistakes. You forgive others for theirs. You let go of resentment. You let go of regret. You make space for joy. You make space for possibility. You make space for your true self. You begin to trust your intuition. You begin to follow your curiosity. You begin to express your creativity. You stop hiding your light. You start sharing your gifts. You realize that your story matters. Your voice matters. Your life matters. You are not here to be anyone else. You are here to be you, fully, unapologetically. You are here to live your truth, to love yourself fiercely, to walk your own path. No one else can do this for you. No one else can live your life. You are the hero of your own story. You are the author of your own destiny. So keep going. Keep choosing yourself. Keep choosing your peace. Every day, in every moment. Let this be your revolution. Let this be your awakening. Let this be your freedom. You are ready. The world is waiting. And your true self is cheering you on. Keep this promise close. I choose my peace over fear. Let it guide you. Let it ground you. Let it set you free. Let's talk about what lives beneath the surface. Not just in you, but in all of us. Jung said, "My life is the story of the self-realization of the unconscious." That means there's a whole world inside you, shaping your choices, your fears, your desires. A world you barely see, but it drives you every day. Think about society for a moment. We walk the streets, nod at neighbors, follow the rules, but behind every polite smile, there's a shadow. A part of us we hide, even from ourselves. We're taught to repress what's unacceptable. Aggression, envy, shame, even wild creativity. All packed away, locked in the dark. But what happens to those parts? They don't disappear. They fester. They grow teeth. And when we're tired or angry or afraid, they slip out, sometimes in ways we don't understand. Jung called this the shadow, the hidden side of our personality. It's not just personal, it's collective. Society itself has a shadow, a darkness that spills out in hatred, violence, and fear of the other. History is full of it. Wars, witch hunts, scapegoats. We project what we hate in ourselves onto others. Whole groups, whole nations. Have you ever noticed how quickly a crowd can turn cruel? How easy it is to dehumanize someone who's different? That's the collective shadow at work. It's not just them. It's us. It's you. It's me. We all carry it. And the more we deny it, the stronger it gets. Jung warned, everyone carries a shadow, and the less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is. Have you ever blamed someone else for your anger? Or felt disgust at something, only to realize it lives in you too? That's projection. The shadow loves projection. It hides in plain sight, wearing someone else's face. You think you're fighting evil out there, but really, you're fighting what you can't accept in here. Society encourages this. We're told to be good, be nice, be normal. But what is normal, really? A mask, a persona. And behind every mask, the shadow waits. When the mask slips. In moments of stress, loss, or crisis, the shadow can take over. People do things they never imagined, hurt the ones they love, ruin what they've built, and then wonder, how did this happen? It's not a mystery. It's the cost of not knowing yourself. Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So what do? You stop pretending. You start looking. Wholeness means holding your darkness and your light. It means seeing your capacity for harm and choosing otherwise. It means understanding that evil isn't out there. It's a potential in every human heart, including yours, including mine. That's sobering. But it's also freeing. Because when you own your darkness, you can use its energy for good. The shadow isn't just destructive, it's creative too. All the parts of you that were shamed, silenced, or feared. They hold your power, your passion, your originality. Society tries to crush what it fears, but you don't have to. You can choose to integrate, not annihilate. You can choose to see, not deny. You can choose to heal, not project. This is the real work of freedom. Not escaping darkness, but transforming it. Not blaming others, but owning your story. Not hiding, but stepping into the light, shadow and all. So ask yourself, what have I been running from? What part of me needs to be seen? What darkness am I ready to face? This is where true freedom begins, and this is where you find your true self. The truth? Here it is. Most people never meet themselves. They live entire lives as strangers to their own hearts. They follow scripts handed down by parents, teachers, the world. They chase dreams that aren't even theirs. They wake up at 50 and wonder, whose life is this? It's not their fault. We're all born into stories we didn't write. We inherit wounds we didn't choose. We learn early, fit in or be left behind. So we adapt. We silence our wildness. We trade authenticity for acceptance. We become experts at self-abandonment. But the price is steep. You can't betray yourself forever. The body keeps score. Anxiety, depression, chronic pain. Sometimes these are just signals from the soul, messages that something essential is missing. But society tells you to numb it. Take a pill. Buy something new. Scroll until you forget. But the ache remains. Because you can't buy your way back to yourself. No amount of achievement or applause will fill the void. You can't outrun your own shadow. You can distract yourself for years, but the truth waits, patient as gravity. Eventually, it catches up. Maybe it's a crisis, a divorce, a job loss, a betrayal. Maybe it's just a quiet moment when you realize you don't recognize your own reflection. That's the invitation, not a punishment, but a call to wake up, to stop running, to turn around and face yourself. It's terrifying. It's liberating. It's the only way to truly live. Because the world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs real people. People who have faced their darkness and found their light. People who can love without losing themselves. People who can stand alone if they must. But how do you do it? You start by telling the truth, not just to others, but to yourself. You admit what hurts. You admit what you want. You admit what you're afraid of. You stop pretending. You stop performing. You let yourself be seen, even if your voice shakes. You let yourself feel, even if it breaks your heart. You let yourself want what you want, even if it doesn't make sense to anyone else. That's courage. That's freedom. You realize that your pain is not your enemy. It's a compass. It points to what matters. It shows you where you lost your way. It shows you what you need to reclaim. You learn to listen to your body, the tightness in your chest, the lump in your throat, the ache in your gut. These are messages, not malfunctions. You learn to trust your intuition, that quiet knowing that never shouts, but is always right. You learn to set boundaries, to say no when you mean no, to say yes only when you mean yes. You stop living for other people's approval. You stop apologizing for your existence. You realize you don't need to be fixed. You need to be found. You need to be loved, first by yourself, then by others. You see that your shadow is not a monster. It's a wounded child, a forgotten artist, a silenced rebel. When you embrace it, you become whole. You become unstoppable. You become real. And in that realness, you find a peace that no one can take away. This is the truth. This is reality. This is the creative power of knowing yourself. It's not easy. It's not quick. But it's worth everything. Because in the end, the only life worth living is the one that is truly yours. Let's go deeper. Here's a truth almost no one tells you. Sometimes, the real you is the person you're most afraid to become. Not because you're bad, but because you're powerful. Because you're honest. Because you're impossible to control once you wake up. Society doesn't reward awakening. It rewards conformity. It hands out gold stars for obedience, not for authenticity. So when you start to change, don't be surprised if people push back. They might call you selfish. They might say you've changed. They might try to guilt you back into your old role. But here's the secret. Their discomfort is not your problem to solve. Their expectations are not your chains to carry. You are allowed to outgrow the version of you that made other people comfortable. You are allowed to disappoint people in order to be true to yourself. That's not cruelty. That's integrity. The world is full of people who never left the script, who never questioned the story, who never asked, "What if I'm more than this?" But you're here because you want something real. You want to taste life, not just survive it. You want to feel joy that isn't borrowed from a screen. You want to feel pain that isn't numbed by distraction. You want to feel alive, even if it means feeling everything. Here's another truth. Freedom isn't always comfortable. Sometimes it's lonely. Sometimes it's raw. Sometimes it means walking away from what you thought you needed. But it's always worth it. Because the alternative is a slow death, a life spent sleepwalking, a heart locked behind 1,000 walls. You were not born for that. You were born to risk, to create, to love, to lose, to begin again. You were born to ask hard questions. Who am I when no one is watching? What do I believe when I'm not trying to please? What would I do if I wasn't afraid? You might not have the answers yet. That's okay. The point isn't to have it all figured out. The point is to keep asking, to keep searching, to keep showing up for yourself, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Here's something new. Your wounds are not just scars, they are doorways. Every hurt you've carried, every loss you've endured, every secret you've kept, they are invitations to deeper wisdom. They are proof that you survived. They are evidence of your strength. You don't need to hide them. You don't need to be ashamed. You can wear your story like armor, not like chains. You can turn your pain into art, your fear into fuel, your doubt into curiosity. You can rewrite the ending. You can choose a new beginning. You are not defined by your past. You are not limited by your mistakes. You are not trapped by your history. You are free to become. You are free to change. You are free to love yourself, even the parts you once rejected. This is the creative truth. You are both the artist and the canvas. You are both the question and the answer. You are both the wound and the healer. No one else can do this work for you. No one else can walk this path. But if you keep going, if you keep choosing truth, if you keep choosing yourself, you will find a freedom that no one can take away. And that is the life you were born to live. Let's strip away the last illusions. Here's what nobody wants to admit. Your true self is not a destination. It's a living, breathing process. It's not a fixed identity. It's a dance between what you were, what you are, and what you're still becoming. There's no final arrival, no moment when you're done. There's only the next honest breath, the next brave choice, the next time you say yes to what's real. Most people are terrified of change, but the truth is, you are change. You are supposed to evolve, to shed skins, to let old dreams die so new ones can be born. If you cling to who you were, you suffocate who you might become. Let yourself be rewritten. Let yourself be surprised. Let yourself be wrong, and then right, and then wrong again. That's how you grow. That's how you find wisdom. Not by clinging to certainty, but by making room for mystery. Here's another truth. You can't heal what you won't feel. You can't love what you won't face. You can't create what you won't risk. Real freedom means letting go of the need to be understood. It means letting your life be misunderstood sometimes. It means standing alone in your truth, even when your voice shakes, even when the world walks away. It means trusting that you are enough, even when you have nothing to prove. You don't have to be extraordinary to be worthy. You don't have to be fearless to be brave. You don't have to be whole to be loved. You just have to be honest. You just have to be present. You just have to be willing to start again, no matter how many times you fall. Here's something new. The world is desperate for people who are real. People who have faced their own darkness and come back with light to share. People who can hold space for pain without needing to fix it or flee. People who can celebrate joy without apology or restraint. Your authenticity is an act of rebellion. Your self-acceptance is a revolution. Your willingness to be seen is a gift. Not just to you, but to everyone who crosses your path. You don't have to save the world. You just have to show up as yourself. That's how the world changes, one honest soul at a time. So let go of the fantasy of perfection. Let go of the need for permission. Let go of the fear that you're too much or not enough. You are exactly what this moment needs. You are the answer to your own longing. You are the only one who can live your life. So live it. Messy, brave, unfinished, alive. Let your story be a testament that you were here, that you mattered, that you dared to be real. Write this down, say it out loud, tattoo it on your heart. I choose my peace over fear. Let it be your anchor, your compass, your call to action. And if this journey has touched something in you, if you feel seen, if you feel called, stay with me. Subscribe, share, reach out. This is not the end. It's the beginning. The world is waiting for the real you. And you are finally free to answer.